everyone. Welcome to the Deep Drop. This is a fishing podcast with me, Luke McCredden, and my good friend who we celebrated a birthday during the week, Adam Ring. Happy birthday and welcome to the Deep Drop, my friend.
Thank you, Luke. Big weekend. The big 4-0.
Woo!
Exciting and daunting all at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no, it was awesome. It's another celebration for as of right now. I'm actually finally recording from home again.
Yep.
I'm not on the road, so that's exciting. But I tell you what, it's fucking hot in here.
It's warm. It's been warm it's a consistent run of warmth ads down here in Victoria, where we're currently residing and recording, and it is not going away anytime soon by the look of it either.
No, the summer that just keeps on giving. No one told summer that the seasons had changed.
Massive shout out at the time of recording this ads to our good friends, and there's a number of listeners in that southeast Queensland pocket who have just absolutely copped a hiding, in northern New South Wales with the weather up there. I hope everyone's staying safe, and it was we're on, I guess, the back end of that storm now as we record this ads, but there was a fair bit of carnage, but like I said, hopefully everyone listening stayed safe and managed to get away with it without too much drama. Bloody hectic.
Insane. So, yeah, shout out to everyone up there. Hopefully your damage was at an absolute minimum.
Yeah.
I know a lot of places have been without power for going on 6 or 7 days now. So, stay safe and, hopefully all this weather buggers off for you real quick so we can get back to fine weather, calm seas, and lots of fishing.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved during the week again, through the social channels ads, through the website, through however you want to. It's been great. Loved hearing from everyone across Instagram, Adam, the Deep Drop. You can find us on Instagram. It's one of the best places to get in touch.
Yeah,
Just slide on into the DMs.
Yeah.
You can check out some of the highlights from the show on YouTube and, of course, TikTok as well. You probably saw a bit of one of the features, I suppose, all of last week was what I'm calling the Powerade controversy.
Powerade gate.
I didn't realise it would blow up as much as it did, ads, to be honest. But last week in our top 6, we called out the top 6 Gatorade/Powerade flavours.
Yep. Which didn't seem too controversial at the time.
I thought it was going to be pretty straightforward. I
Pretty
thought
stock
that
standard.
Gold Rush was kind of it, but boy, were we wrong.
I'm really surprised and somewhat offended.
Not only did we receive a few messages early on when that post first went live and the episode first went live, I thought, there's always going to be a fan of blue, fan of red, whatever. It continued. And went on and on and on to the point where we had to do something about it. So we ran a poll, and blue was the clear favourite, ads.
Wow.
Yeah. Followed closely by orange, Gold Rush.
Yeah, okay, so orange was the Gold Rush.
Yeah,
okay. I'm so surprised blue. It's only because it's just such an OG flavour. And I'm not knocking blue. I actually really enjoy it. It's not in the same league as Gold Rush, just saying.
Yeah.
But it's a clear, 1B.
Yeah. You know what?
But
you know where
passion.
where I was really shook was the amount of support for purple. And
do you know, mate? Do you know what purple tastes like? You had the purple one.
Well, yeah, I had one the other day because I was just intrigued. I didn't even know it existed, to be honest.
It was shit, wasn't it?
It was not great, and I'm not trying to stir up the purple lovers, but I was slightly disappointed, very disappointed.
Yeah, it's like a cross between if you were to grab, I don't know, maybe some sort of medicine and blood. That's kind of what it would taste like.
That's an interesting combination.
Yeah, exactly. Shit.
But shout out to one of the Deep Drop listener, good friend of the show, Bailey, who went out to, I actually saw today, and he expressed his concern about not having red, blue, and purple in that should have been higher than orange. Was his messaging to me.
Sorry, Bailey. I respectfully disagree.
But what I didn't realise, Adam, was he'd never tried orange.
Okay.
So I sent him down to Woolworths. And
he's got a new number one, doesn't he?
He's got an orange. And he's refusing to admit that it was okay, but I could see in his eye that he enjoyed it. But anyway, massive shout out for everyone getting involved. It was Powerade gate, all right. Gee whiz.
And that's what we want. So thank you to everyone who got involved in the poll for top 6, because these are important topics. They're topical,
Absolutely.
they're relevant every single day of the week. And I appreciate everyone that got involved. You're wrong, but I appreciate everyone that got involved.
Now, I don't have a Powerade next to me right now, Ads, but as we slide on into drink of the week, I want to ask you, my friend, what are you sipping on?
Well, I'm sipping on a Bolter. So if you cast your mind back 7 days from right now as we record this, I was sipping on the second best Bolter I'd ever had.
Yes.
And there was a clear reason why it was number 2.
Yep, you're missing a stubby holder.
I am proud to announce that I'm now sipping on the best Bolter I've ever had because it's nestled beautifully in a green deep drop stubby holder.
Yes,
I
it
am
is.
back and I'm feeling $1 million.
Oh, good. No, it looks better, and you do. You seem more up and about. You seem like you're in a better headspace now that you've got that stubby holder in your firm grasp.
The world feels right.
Very good. Ads, I've gone tonight, indeed, in line with you with the green stubby holder, obviously.
Yes, you have.
But I've mixed it up and I've gone another premix. You know, I've had a couple of premixes on the show, but I've gone a Jack Daniels and lemonade.
Lemonade? All right.
Hang on.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Talk me through.
Fucking sprayed that everywhere, by the way.
Talk me through the
shit
JD
idea.
and lemonade. Interesting choice.
I've always toyed with you. I reckon they stole this idea from me. Because back in the day when I was a youngster, young, old enough to drink, I used to mix my own with a bit of lemonade. And I had people going, "What are you doing? You can't be doing that." And then some people tried it and they went, "Actually, not bad."
So you were before your time.
I was before my time, Adam. And then they released it in a can. Not as good as mixing it yourself, but hey, it's not a bad drop.
All I'm hearing is there is years and years and years worth of royalties that are owed to you, Luke.
That's what I'm getting at.
And a few emails need to be sent.
I think so. We might have to put together on pager. Actually, great segue. I want to talk about emails for a little bit, Ads, because obviously you can head over to the deepdrop.au, catch up on all the latest episode, grab yourself some merch, Ads. The merch is
the greatest combo on the planet. We're not talking rod and reel, of course. We are talking green stubby holder that instantly makes every drink you'll ever want to have the best one you've ever had. And then if you combine that with the deep drop cap, you will now be one of the coolest looking mofos on the planet with the best drink that you've ever had. The greatest combo on the internet. Head over to the deepdrop.au.
Wow. That was impressive. Let's just be real for a minute. Just pause the show, but actually keep the mics rolling because I need you to tell us this. Have you rehearsed that?
That was solely off the top of the dome. I'm telling you, the green stubby holder makes everything better,
Anyone
including
listening,
speech.
Head over to Instagram because that is and TikTok. That is going to be an ad that I'm rolling. We're going to take that clip. We're going to cut that out because that was one of the greatest reads I've heard. You and I have done a lot of radio in our time. We've had to do live reads, but we've been able to read those off a script.
Yeah.
You've rolled that out as if that is a live read that has happened for 12 to 15 consecutive weeks and you've got it on a screen in front of you.
It's just straight off the top of the head. That's how confident I feel in the quality of the combo.
Fuck.
And it's a combo that I rock myself most days.
I'm so shook from that I don't even know what we're talking about. The website, the deepdrop.au.
Emails. We had some emails.
Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you. So the deepdrop.au, you can get some merch, get up to date on the latest episodes, but you can also, it's not a bad place if you want to fire off an email. A lot of people just love an email, Ads. They don't necessarily have the socials, and that's fine. And I just wanted to quickly, I won't go through them all in detail, the emails themselves. We will, there are a couple there that I'd like to touch on in coming episodes. Roy, Gazza, Tim, Tony, Stephen, Luke, not me, didn't email myself, and Darren, did I say that? No. Thank you for your emails. Love it. A couple of those are just simple shout-outs. I just wanted to reach out, say great to. There was, I think it might have been Roy Adam, who just is a fan of yours, watched you on TV for all those years, and
Roy,
great to hear
shout
your
out to you,
voice
Roy.
again. Yeah, good on you.
Shout out to you, Roy. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, absolutely. And all you guys, thank you very much for taking the time to email. We love it. And like I said, there's a few zingers in there that we'll get to at some stage as well. But keep them coming. Love it. And if you've got anything to share or just want to say good day, thedeepdrop.au, flick through an email through the contact page. But Adam, that's about it for as far as shout-outs go. I think we've just done a fair few tonight, but that's okay. I want to throw to you because I feel like you have mentioned that you've got something you want to raise on the show.
Yep, I come across. I've seen this is not something new, but it's something that for whatever reason grabbed me, and I thought, hang on, how did we, as an industry, a fraternity of recreational fishermen, how did we come up with this? I've seen a lot of people in the last few months who are experiencing one of the best flathead seasons, dusky flathead seasons, we've seen in quite a long time. Luke, my question to you, because I'm genuinely confused and I don't have an answer right now. Why do we refer to flathead as lizards? What part of a flathead looks like a fucking lizard?
I'm just taking a moment to think.
Exactly, because there's no answer. There is nothing that a flathead does that resembles a lizard. How did we settle on lizard to describe a good flathead? It's got me
also,
beat.
do we call all flathead lizards, or is it only big ones?
Just big ones. Just big ones.
So
Why? What lizard are we referring to?
Let's go
a
through
Komodo
them.
dragon?
Well, it's clearly not it's not a goanna. It's not a skink or a blue tongue lizard. Is it
No. A lizard?
Gecko? Is it gecko? No, not really.
No.
Chameleon?
They're only little.
No.
Why do we refer to flathead as lizards?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've got a theory on it, but I like it.
I actually don't have a theory on it. And
I'd
it's
love
the first thing. Mate, I can't even spin some bullshit on how a flathead could be referred to as a lizard. What about a flathead resembles or reminds anybody ever of a lizard?
When was the last time you saw a flathead caught off, in Port Phillip Bay or down in East Gippsland, Dusky or up the coast or whatever, and you thought, is that a lizard? Oh, no, it's a flathead.
Just a flathead.
I don't know. It's a fantastic question.
I don't get it.
Well, without further ado, everyone out there listening, has anyone got a theory on it? This is
because we've all done it.
Yeah.
I'm not singling any people out at all. We've all done it. Including myself, have referred to a flathead as a lizard, a good lizard.
There might be a genuine answer to this. Oh, I hope there's a story. You know how
A conception story.
Yeah, where it came from, where it
Yeah.
started. It might be someone, back in the day was out hunting lizards and thought he saw one, speared it, turned out it was a flathead. I don't know.
See,
it doesn't
it's
even
impossible.
make sense.
There's nothing. There is no bullshit that you can just let fly at the moment that is going to make it seem like, oh yeah, I get it. How did we settle on lizard?
Did someone see
'Cause it's
one
common.
eating a lizard off the surface, or it's weird.
know.
It's almost a well, it is a highly popular nickname for them, but there's no real.
I don't know where it comes from. It makes absolutely zero sense, and not even really in a funny way.
No.
It just.
It's like when you go
I don't get
through
it.
when you go through some nicknames for other species, it all makes sense. Like snapper are called reds, well, because they're
Yes,
red.
they're red.
Australian salmon, especially in WA, greenbacks. Well, yeah, because that's what
They've
they
got
sort of
greenbacks.
resemble. Yeah, but I don't know. Is there something?
Lizard.
Is there something about there? What's the sort of scientific name or zoological name or whatever you call it? Is it some reference to that? Maybe.
Pretty sure it's got nothing to do with the lizard.
Do you think the lizard? Do you think the flathead is a descendant from the dinosaur?
Well, it's interesting question because one of the other things that they're often referred to, crocodiles.
It's even worse.
Pretty sure they don't remind me of a crocodile.
It's a crocodile.
But at least, but is it because maybe they lay flat?
Nah.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So I feel as though between us and the deep drop community, please get in touch.
Yeah.
I think we need a solid nickname for a big flathead that makes sense. Because lizard and crocodile just don't seem to cut it.
It's got to be. Is there something that we're not aware of? Is there descendancy from dinosaurs, or are they going to turn back into dinosaurs at some stage?
Did like the little shit lizards that couldn't survive, their legs fell off and they became flathead.
Became flathead. I feel like they'd become eels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not flathead. And it doesn't really work in reverse either. So the next time that you're mucking around with your kids and you see a little drop tail skink or something, just hit them with there's a flathead over there.
Flathead.
Bet you they look at you like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't use it
Doesn't
that
work
way.
that way either.
Oh,
Mate, I don't know.
There's a flathead sunning itself on the rock over there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's not. They need to be in water.
Doesn't work.
So
Wonder if they did. I mean, if they grew legs themselves and came out of the water, I guess they'd have some sort of lizardy look about them.
Did they start as flathead and grow legs and become lizards?
And then what? And then go back to flathead?
I don't know. I was just trying to find some sort of.
Hey, what do you
union
reckon the
between
weirdest? What do you reckon the scariest fish would be if it, apart from a shark, or the coolest fish would be if it did grow legs and become land based? Flathead would be pretty sick.
Imagine that.
Imagine it just sitting down flat in the paddocks and a sheep walks past and just
It just annihilates a lamb.
Picture that.
You got to watch out when you walk in the paddocks for cowpat and flathead.
Yeah, watch out for that. Oh, it's just shit. It's on my gumboot. No, that.
Oh, no, it's a
lost
flatty.
a leg.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be pretty gnarly sort of a thing to see on the land. That would rival a fucking Komodo dragon.
And that would be, worthy of a terrifying nickname.
Yeah.
But
because even croc, like, they don't. I mean, I know they've got teeth. We've all been victims of the cuts on the thumbs from their raspy teeth, and a couple of their teeth at the front, particularly on the bottom, are quite big and sharp.
Not crocodile.
We're not talking, barracuda.
And it's not like hook a flatty in the shallows and it death rolls.
No, which would be cool.
That would be awesome, actually.
That would be cool. But there's nothing. There's nothing about it. It's not like they sit there with their nostrils just above the surface of the water, waiting for their next feed.
Or you go to grab the flatty and its tail falls off, and it just grows it back later.
Yeah. Yeah. I reckon, a more outrageous yet nickname that makes more sense is the albacore, the chicken of the sea. Makes more sense to me.
So,
that's
mate,
a great
I don't
question.
get it.
And I just think to your point exactly, we just need to lean on the deep drop community here. This is one.
And if the people are happy with lizard, I'll roll with it.
Yeah. But is there a better nickname?
There's got to be.
Okay, well,
There's gotta be.
What, I mean...
Well, I think a flathead resembles a shovel more than it resembles a lizard.
So let's start referring to him... It's
a shovel.
It's a proper shovel.
And what size does it become a shovel?
Or is it first a spade and then it's a shovel?
So between 60 and 80, they're spades, and 80 plus they're shovels?
Shovels, yeah. Yeah.
Makes more sense than lizard to me.
A shovel makes heaps more sense, doesn't it? So the shovel. So should we start this trend? Let's.
I don't know. Well, the people need to speak. It might not be. I'm not sold on shovel. It makes more sense to me than lizard or crocodile. If you're happy with lizard or croc, okay, I guess.
Well, the question is, why do we call flathead lizards?
Yeah,
that's the question. It's simple.
I'd love to know.
I hope someone's got. I don't even care if your story that you have is
Make it
completely
up.
false. Yeah.
Make it up. If you can get me to go, I get it.
Yeah.
Then let's continue calling them lizards.
Yeah, I love this. This is good. There's some work to do here. I really feel like it's been thrown out there and just continued on, and no one's ever questioned it.
No, it's just one of those things like, oh, yeah, okay, well, everybody's saying it. I want to know why.
So this is the
it
sort
makes
of thing.
No sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. This is the sort of thing we do on the deep drop and question everything. We've had that sort of, mantra about us from day one, ads. Let's question everything and have a bit of fun with it. Well, why do we call flathead lizards?
I need to know. I need to know.
All right. Well, get in touch. Like we said, Instagram's the best place to do it. I'm going to throw a tile up there, ads, that just says simply, why do we call flathead lizards? Just give it to us in the comments. True, false, stupid, sensible.
Doesn't matter. Convince me that lizards is the name that a big flathead needs.
And why?
Why?
Okay. All right. Well, while we get onto that and ponder that some more, ads, we do have, and I forgot to touch on it at the start of the show. We had a couple of voice messages when we got into the studio this morning, Adam. And I believe management's been in touch. So if you would be happy for us just to jump on those now, just to get him out of the way, you know.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what he's got to say for himself.
All right, let's have a listen to the first message.
Yeah, g'day guys, it's me. Just on the road, thought I'd check in. I'm just heading to an interview actually. Thought I'd better pull my finger out of my ass, given you guys have advertised my fucking position. Anyway, hopefully this goes alright. I think you've got high hopes for this position. There's a lot of potential in this new job. Anyway, speak soon.
Okay.
Did he ring us just to say that he's applying for a different job?
I don't really know. I mean, I guess he's getting on the front foot, ads.
Okay,
it's fair to say we've
that
been...
sort of attitude. Hey, if that attitude was present, 6 to 12 months ago, he might not be in this position.
That's fair. He should have just been better from the start.
Exactly.
There is another one, if we just jump into that.
Oh, an update.
Oh yeah, me again, sorry. Luke, would you mind being a reference?
Oh.
If they call, I'll put you down. I was going to put both of you down, but I couldn't remember the other guy's name. So, Luke, if you could, that'd be great. Righto.
Wow.
Clearly short of friends if he wanted me as a reference, but couldn't remember my name.
That's rough. Interesting, but rough. That'll be interesting if I get a call. Did he say who he's applying with? No,
but he alluded to it could be big.
Could be big. Oh, hang on. There is another message. He might tell us in this one, or... Well, no, it's a different number. Let's have a listen.
Oh, yes. G'day. It's Graham here from Casey Radio 97.7 FM, the sound of the southeast.
Oh.
I'm looking for Luke, I believe it is. We interviewed a chap today for the role of station manager here at Casey Radio. We needed a station manager to look after the sound of the southeast. Anyway, you were here as a reference, so we thought we'd give you a bit of a call. If you could maybe find the time to phone us back, that would be great. Thank you.
Well, sound of the southeast now. That's brought back some memories.
This is unbelievable, lad. So just a throwback to, I mean, anyone who's just isn't familiar, and we've spoken about this on the show ages ago, ads. You and I cut our teeth at Casey Radio 97.7 FM.
It all started there.
Unbelievable. And old mate's going for a job. It could be big. He did say it could be a big role, didn't he?
He did. It could be big things to come in the future at Casey Radio.
Casey Radio, the sound of the southeast, 97.7 FM. It's interesting that the demographic of staff is still pretty accurate.
Sounds as though Graham's still there. He's
unbelievable. Wow. I guess I'll give him a buzz tomorrow or something. We want to encourage old mate to get another job because let's be honest, we don't want him anymore.
Well, if he finds another job, he won't be a pain in our ass for a little bit. So
it's interesting when you think about it. Those community stations, and hey, hats off to all the community stations out there. Like I said, this is where we sort of kicked off our thing, ads, and so many people that are in podcasts or radio now did. And I have some great memories of back in the studio getting told not to bring a drink in because it could burn everything to the ground.
Everything up.
But maybe that's where and I'm going to say it, former management, maybe that's where they should be at this point in their career. Let's be honest, they're burnt out. They're sort of over the hill.
Well,
The patience
I'd
isn't
love,
there anymore.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the interview, only because
Yeah, true.
I would love to know what ex-management thinks you can bring to the table.
Can we? Well, yeah. I wonder if we could bring.
I'd love to know.
Could we bring some mics in there? Just set up some mics and have a bit of a look. But yeah, look, I don't know. It's yeah. I'll give him a buzz tomorrow. And see where they're at. Now, I've also got for a bit of a discussion topic, Ads. I've got a question that has been sent in. So shout out, and I'm just padding here because I'm trying to find the fucking question, to be honest.
Like a well-oiled machine,
mate.
Luke.
It's all done in real time. Just bear with us. Bear with us. Adam's got.
So is it from a little while ago, or do we just get a shit stack of messages today?
It's so many. Okay, I've got it. There are so many messages, and we genuinely appreciate all of them. But yeah, so I've got it. We're on.
All right, we're on.
This is just smooth sailing at the moment. So let's hear. This is from Jasper Davis.
Hello, Adam and Luke and Deep Drop listeners. I've got a question regarding live baiting for kingfish, specifically using fish live baits, so slimy mackerel, yakkers, etc. So does it make a difference for catch rates if you bridle rig a live bait as opposed to just hooking it through the mouth or nose? Personally, I just hook it through the mouth and nose because I can't be fucked dealing with all the different cloth and winding it through eyes and needles and stuff. But I'd love to hear your response. Thanks.
Sorry for coughing. I wasn't actually.
Definitely listens to the Deep Drop.
I hadn't listened to that message all the way through, and that
Fantastic.
caught me off guard.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wicked question, by the way.
And I'm going to jump in real quick here, Luke, because I must say my experience with live baiting for anything with a live fish bait is minimal. And the times I've done it, I'm definitely a nose or mouth dude because I too can't be fucked trying to work out how to bridle rig anything.
It's a massive point, and jokes aside, that it's about that effort versus reward. And I think if you can get away with just pinning a hook through it and throwing it in, then everyone would choose that.
Okay, what about this scenario?
Yeah.
I think it depends on how long you plan on said live bait being in the water. If you're exploring, trying to find fish, bridle rigging is probably the only way. Do you think that's going to be the best way to keep it alive for the most amount of time?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think, and look, let's break down some factors here, and we won't pretend to be experts, but I think you and I have both done a fair bit of live baiting, so we can talk to our experience. And I did have a recent conversation with Lee Rayner about this, actually, so it kind of ties in nicely. But I think if you're trolling it, that's kind of just straight off the bat. You got to bridle.
I think so.
You know,
but just keep the live bait in the most pristine condition. Possible.
Yeah. And I think the scenario of whether it's marlin, whether it's kingfish, whether it's snapper, same. Mm-hmm. There's times where they will just eat. And when you know, particularly with, say, kingfish and even marlin, if you're fishing, if you've found a bait ball, and you could just pin that thing through the back or, wherever it needs to be and send it down knowing that it doesn't really matter. But one thing when I was chatting to Lee about this recently, we were talking about presentation, and he was saying that in his experience, most of the time, big fish will come through and eat these baits head first, whether it be a kingfish or snapper or whatever. So his preference is to bridle every time, regardless of the bite, even though I'm sure you could get away with it sometimes, just chucking a hook through it. So, and I think that's not a bad point too. There are more than enough examples now of that, especially things that are like a yakka, even a slimy to a degree, that kingfish will definitely smash head first. So if you have that hook on its nose, naturally your hookup rate should be better.
Is there an argument to be made, in particular to kingfish, that can be really frustrating? They'll let you see them, but won't necessarily eat. Whether they're tailing a live bait, you're bringing a live bait in to check it, and all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 kings, or you bring the live bait in, and all of a sudden the king's at the back of the boat. do you think the most natural presentation is the way to go there? As in, would you be better off taking the time to bridle rig a slimy with 5 or 6 kings at the back of the boat that are fired up, but maybe not necessarily committing to anything? They're probably more being inquisitive than anything. Do you take the time to bridle, or are you almost even better off pinning it in the back so that it's a little bit clapped out? It's a little bit not quite right. Try and trigger that full-on just prey drive of those animals that something is wounded and it's an easy enough meal.
A bit more erratic.
Yeah, because I remember this is years ago, like early years of being in the shop, actually talking to Patrick Neidhart about this, who phenomenal local fisherman, has done everything, game, snapper, whatever, just one of those guys that gets it. I remember having a conversation with him very early in the piece, and he would do a lot of, whether it was live baiting for marlin or kings, whatever it was. He actually had some interesting ways of doing it where he would actually pin them upside down.
Wow.
Solely to try and get some sort of reaction bite, because the other thing too, you think of the composition of any bait fish or any fish, the belly's white for a reason. If you're looking up at a fish from underneath and you've got the sun coming down, the glare on a white belly is going to be harder to see.
Yep.
Turn it upside down, all of a sudden the dark bit's on the bottom and they're swimming all crazy. It looks too easy.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually.
I don't know if it's a thing or not. I don't know if it's a thing. But I love the thought process of having plan A, B, C, D, and E all for specific reasons. It makes sense in my little brain. Maybe not so much flipping them upside down, but pinning them behind the shoulders so that they're still able to swim and behave like a live bait, a natural bait, but just a little bit off. Whether that's a little bit wounded, whether it's a little bit erratic, something that can just switch those fish on.
And I know live bait can be like gold, so you sometimes just have those days where you can't fucking manage to catch a full tank. So I think you've got to make the absolute most out of it while you can, and that's where something like bridling it is good. However, if you've got a few, I reckon that's a great time and place to start mixing it up and having a bit of it, because they will. It seems like the best possible scenario to use a live bait on a pelagic fish or a inshore reef species like a kingfish or a snapper, but it doesn't always work. Like lures, they just don't for some reason. Like a dead bait doesn't always work. But if you can, you're right. You could rig it absolutely perfectly so it swims almost like it's free. There's nothing attached to it. But sometimes that's not enough. So just mixing it up, just having it swim all fucked out, like whatever it is.
But if you're genuinely exploring, you haven't found those fish yet. You've picked a line and you're slow trolling. I think bridling's pretty much the only way.
Yeah,
not the only way, but to keep the bait going and in prime condition longer, that'd be the best way.
I remember fishing in New Zealand a few years back, actually with Hardy, our good friend Andrew Hart, and Nick Digan at the time. We were filming Hook, Line and Sinker out at the Mokohino Islands, which were sort of north of a few hours north of Auckland, and out near Mangawai Heads. And we had a tank full of I can't remember what they call them, just yakkers basically, scad.
Yeah.
And it was a case of just pinning them through the nose. So there was no bridling, but it was a neat, as central as possible type pin through the nose, and away they go. And that, when you actually do that, it's a fairly solid and hard piece of
So you're
flesh,
going
cartilage,
are you
whatever.
going in through the top of the mouth and out the nose, or sideways through like?
No, in the mouth and out the nose, out the top of in between the eyes almost, not quite, but so it's still very much intact. It doesn't damage their eyes as such. So you still get a fairly natural sort of swim out of them, but it also. Here in New Zealand, mate, they're not going to last long in the water. let's be honest. It's a bad example for that, but it's also one way to do it.
Which is probably why they do it that way. Just the quickest and most efficient way to get a bait in the water.
We're going to, a bit of a sneak preview. We are going to feature anyone listening who's familiar with the lateral line on YouTube. The New Zealand fellas, Milan is going to join us on the show at some stage very soon. We're just trying to line that up at the moment because he's out on fishing adventures, the dirty dog. He uses, what, 3-4 kilo carwai Australian salmon. So let's bring that up as a discussion.
So he needs a bit of 6 mil short link to bridle his live baits because.
And I swear I've seen, and I'll go back and have a look because it's something we'll bring up with him when he's on the show. But I swear I've seen him just whack a hook through the back of them and just lob them in the water. They hit the deck like you're throwing a brick in the water.
Well, the other thing too is what are you using to bridle them? I've seen Dacron, I've seen wax thread, I've seen rubber bands. I've even seen in the recent years, there's a sweet little contraption that makes bridling super easy. I don't know a hell of a lot about it, but I looked at it and thought, shit, I reckon I'd even be able to bridle a bait using that thing. Because it's hard. Because I guess the biggest downfall with having to bridle them is you have to physically, you've got to hold them.
Bait. Yeah.
So you're knocking slime and scales and all sorts off them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, those that are efficient at it can get it done real quick.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good question. And it's an awesome one. Thanks heaps for sending it through and appreciate the voice memo. And as we say, always get those.
That's the best way. It's the best way to get in touch.
We love it. But it is a good one. And I'd love to, and again, another question to everyone out there. What are your thoughts on bridling? I guess the question is, not thoughts on bridling, thoughts on rigging a live bait.
Is it the best way?
Yeah.
Is it the best way?
Best way to rig a live bait?
I think it is, but I very much relate to I can't be fucked with it when I can pin him in the mouth or pin him behind the shoulders, whatever.
Let's be honest. If all of us listening can get away without having to fuck around too much, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's why I fish plastics.
Yeah.
I don't have to find live bait. I don't have to catch it. I don't have to keep it alive, and I don't have to rig it.
Even putting the plastic on the jig head, sometimes you're like, oh, I can't be fucked.
Yeah, fucking really.
Can I just cast the jig head out?
Can I get a pre-made one?
I'm just buying slick rigs.
Listen, we've all been there. Don't judge us.
We've all been there. Maybe we could. What would you if you? And this is a really topical one because we've got a really solid yellowtail kingfish bite in Victoria and New South Wales at the moment on the south coast. There's also some kingies being caught in South Australia, and also in the next couple of months they'll fire up in Tassie too. What is everyone's favourite live bait for a yellowtail kingfish? It is, and I'll let you ponder that.
What's easiest to get? Yeah. I feel as though slimies have the most street cred. Would I be right there?
They do. I feel like they've got the most.
Is that money? Is that money in the bank?
Mate, I reckon if you've got a nice chunky slimy, your confidence levels go through the roof. Never guaranteed, right? But
what would number 2 be? Squid.
Mate, I've got a massive soft spot for squid.
Arrows or colours?
Well, funnily enough, I've never used arrow squid, but I know that a lot of.
Do you know why?
Fucking assholes.
Because they're the fucking devil. That's why.
They are the devil. They're a horrible, horrible thing that shouldn't be in existence.
Yeah, you're trying to rig them, and they're trying to eat you.
They're trying to kill you, not just and they will one chunk of flesh at a time.
Yep.
But
so
and people listening that have done it will swear black and blue arrow squid are the absolute number one.
Okay.
Option. I've only done it with southern calamari here in Victoria, and as with snapper, I've fed live calamari to snapper, and they just there's no mucking around. It's just and you're
over.
on.
It's over.
So and credit to the old humble southern calamari. They do last a while when slow trolling them too. You wouldn't want to speed troll them because they'd just rip them apart. But we've had them. We've had them for a decent little stint trolling around nice and slow. They do get. You know what? Fuck up those baits when you're slow trolling those shallow reefs. Are those big fucking blue throat wrasse?
Do they make good live bait?
I don't know. You can't. They just eat your live bait.
Yeah.
Yakkers, yep. Hard to go past.
But
as good.
Do people really give a shit about yakkers, or is it just they're the easiest to get?
I think that's what it comes down to. Because let's be honest, beggars can't be choosers. If all you could do is fill your tank of yakkers, you would absolutely take it. But having said that, though, you should be able to.
Are there any oddball live bait? Are there any oddball live bait that are sneaky good for kingies?
I wonder if like barracuda or something like that.
Sergeant Baker?
Sargy Bees. Just sending one of them bad boys down. mullet
just
is
slow trolling a Sergeant Baker.
a mullet. Just listen, and I've got a soft spot for a mullet, right? Because I remember as a kid, as a jetty rat, young kid, catching yellow eye mullet off the old Queenscliff Pier when it was an old jetty, not what it is today as the big harbour, and getting excited about it. Equally, snorkeling with my 7-year-old this summer, they're all just in the shallows and they love them. They're so excited to see them. So I don't want to diss them too much, but what are they good for?
Like down south.
Much. Now, they're not, I'm talking yellow eye mullet. They're not the same as those stupid kamikaze mullet up in the
Those
south
fucking
coast.
things that just throw themselves out of the water for a living. They're
like a
saltwater
proper
carp,
kilo
those
or
other
two,
mullet.
like massive fucking
Yeah.
things.
To the point where you hear them, if it's still, you'll hear them flapping mid-air. It sounds like a little helicopter.
We were driving in late one night at one point and had one launch into the boat.
That's
And
excellent.
they stink and leave scales and shit everywhere.
Yeah. There's not much is eating them, sure.
So that was funny for 12 seconds, and then we went, oh, look at the shit everywhere.
What
Fucking
about a
talk-
pike or a snook?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They stink.
They're just
as well.
and they're just too big a lot of the time.
Maybe.
I only seem to see big ones of them.
Garfish. I mean, snapper love eating
gars.
gars. I don't know.
Yeah, but can
probably-
you keep them alive?
Yeah, that's the
Aren't they
problem.
real temperamental and shit?
You could probably send it, like I mean, in the bay, send them down, get eaten by a snapper. But I reckon if you're offshore, I don't know. I think there'd be. That's a good question. What's an unfamiliar live bait
For kings.
Or, you know.
For anything or just for kings?
for anything?
Because I guess it's a kingfish question.
I mean, don't they find heaps of those small leather jacket inside marlin? Could you just send a string of them down?
Just daisy chain of leatheries.
You know those shit leather jacket that just fuck up everything
Yeah.
offshore? Yeah.
Yeah. Just eat
I'm
everything.
sure they find, or maybe it's swords, inside swords or something. They find just,
Maybe.
kilograms and kilograms of those fucking things.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's not a slimy, a squid, or a yakka,
What is it?
what's number 4?
Australian
What's number?
salmon?
Oh yeah.
Have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably that'd be number 4. You'd think.
King George Whiting?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
You
some
know,
would eat 'em.
depends how hard the rest of it. Depends how hard live baits that have come past. Toady.
Mate, if you're struggling on live baits and go, oh, well, guess we have to get some King George
King
Whiting.
George. You'd want to.
We're going
the prize
all right.
at the end would want to be worth it.
Yeah, I wonder if anything eats a flathead. So anyway,
lizard.
these aren't. Yeah, no, that's not. But what is it? I mean, maybe there's a secret out there. Crayfish. Is it? Is someone
imagine
rigging
that.
a cray?
Just snooding a cray by the tail and slow trolling that around. Life's pretty good.
Yeah,
life's
life's
pretty
good.
good if you're live baiting crays.
I've seen. Oh, can I say this?
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
ages
it's a deep
ago.
drop.
I've seen boats bridle kingfish and troll them and catch marlin.
Oh yeah, that's pretty intense.
I've seen it. Seen it.
Legal kingfish?
Look, for the sake of the story, yeah. But in all honesty, but in all honesty, I don't know. I don't know. But
Isn't the
65.
undersized kingfish just a yakka?
no, it was a rainbow runner. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
it was a
rainbow runner. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah. Let's be honest. Dog eat dog world out there, right? Everything's going to eat everything at some point. I think. But
Yeah, you'd think so.
let's keep things above board. Is there something that we've let's say silver trevally, but probably not.
Yeah.
Because you get them on the bait grounds a lot. That's the only reason I was
Oh
thinking
yeah,
that.
something
Tommy
have
Ru-
to eat them surely.
Tommy
Tommies?
Ruff
Oh,
would be
it's
good
surely
f-
Tommies.
But probably not for kingy. They're probably too small, wouldn't they be? Or
Yeah, I don't know.
don't know. Tuna? Sending a little
Small
tuna
fin.
down. Well, we yellowfin, maybe not live, but certainly
Marlin, yeah.
oof, and big yellowfin. Ones
But
that I would hold up
as though
and claim.
I'd be pumped catching the bait.
Yes. Imagine the celebration, me and you on the back deck of a
High-fiving.
huge game boat off the Great Barrier Reef, just high five and Yahoo, and these guys going, "What the fuck are they?"
You're getting
Boys,
mental over the bait.
that's just the bait.
Yeah, swing it over so we can stitch it. Stop fucking around.
We're doing like a release into the water.
So, trying to spear it back in.
Swim it, Ad. Swim it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there'd be something. Curious to know, but like, yeah, best way to rig a live bait. But then, what is the best live bait
Yeah.
outside of the usual
big three.
suspects? Yeah,
The big
big three.
Yeah.
The big three. So we're saying slimy, squid, yakka. The big three.
The big three.
If you could catch a flying fish,
Ooh.
and again had them flying into the boat before. I'm sure a lot of people have.
They get
Jeez,
eaten, surely.
They get eaten by everything.
Yep.
They're
Kings will
basically
smash
a
the shit
giant pilchard with wings. Is the
Pretty
way
insane.
when I first saw one literally in the boat when it flew in.
out of them. See, if they had a nickname as a parrot, that makes more
sense.
sense than calling a flathead a lizard.
Makes sense. Thank you. Absolutely.
Got a few parrots out there today.
Yeah. Well, you could call them anything. Eagles,
Bridled them.
a couple of seagulls. Yeah.
Seagulls.
Bridled it. Oh, hang on. Live, but nah, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, let's leave it there.
Yeah.
So all right, so bridling, to answer the question,
Best.
bridling's the best way.
I think it's the best.
Especially if you're playing the long game, if you've got to search a fish and have. But what are we bridling outside of the big three?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Best live bait option outside of the big three.
The big three being slimies, squid, and yakkers.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
I like it.
I like it. I think there's a lot there to try and answer, Ads. But what we're going to do now is answer something different. Because, Ads, as we head on into the end of the episode, what has become a strong tradition and somewhat topical, somewhat controversial is our top six. It's very enjoyable, and it's been something that we've loved the engagement on, so keep it coming. We love it. I was having a chat the other day to the kids about something came up about TV, and I don't know, TV is just not TV. Is there TV anymore? Is there sort of channels anymore, or is it? I don't even know. I don't understand TV anymore.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I just had this throwback though, Ads, to there's just some epic TV back in the day.
There was. Kids these days wouldn't appreciate it.
They wouldn't appreciate it at all. And one of the most enjoyable things to do was sit down and watch sitcoms. Proper old school sitcoms, Ads.
In the prime of sitcoms, and there was some absolute bangers.
And in particular, I want to talk about a decade, a period, an era, if you will, the 90s.
90s.
90s sitcoms. So tonight, it's the top 6 90s sitcoms. But before we dive into it, another shout out. We've been throwing shout outs around left, right, and centre, Ads. And tonight,
It's been a good week.
Nick Shepherd has gone to the effort to feel the struggles, feel the deep drop struggles, trying to come up with a sting for because we want a sting for the top 6, didn't we? We've been talking about it for a while. He's hit the
Had a
studio.
couple of cracks at it.
He has hit the studio and said, boys, leave it with me. And this is what he's come up with for the deep drop top 6.
The deep drop.
Top 6. That's a big statement right there. How about that? How do you feel about that?
I love it. It's got strong
Same.
Audio Slave vibes.
Yes. It's got a couple of cheeky sort of, plays from, a couple of little quotes in there. I like it. It ticks all the boxes.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, mate, Nick, massive shout out. Props to you.
Huge props.
Incredible
Huge props.
effort. Thank you very much for providing what is the top 6 deep drop jingle.
I love it.
So, as we dive in, Ads, I'd like to open the floor to your good self and give you the opportunity to lead us off with number 1 in the top 6 90s sitcoms.
Well, there's a clear number 1 for me. The only controversy to it would be, is it a sitcom?
Okay. Well, let's hear it.
So number 1, The Simpsons. Is it a sitcom? I'm happy for you to say no, it's not, because I've got backups. But is The Simpsons classed a sitcom?
Now, without the technicality of knowing, I'm more than happy to accept this. More than happy to accept it.
And I'm very glad that you do, because Simpsons wasn't just a sitcom or a TV show. It was a way of life.
It was a lifestyle.
If you grew up in that era, and I feel as though, Luke, we grew up in the prime of The Simpsons.
Yep.
There is not a life situation that you will ever come across that you cannot bring up a Simpsons quote about. It's been done. The Simpsons has successfully predicted the future numerous times.
A freakish amount of times.
Freakish amount, like crazy. It has somehow summarized every major worldwide topic in a way that kids could relate to, understand, and endlessly quote.
Yeah.
I think it's an easy number one if it's a sitcom.
Yeah, I'm paying it. If you're happy for it, but I'm paying it. I'm
happy.
Yeah. All right. Talk about ways of life. This next one for me was an absolute. It was just part of me. Number 2, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Possibly one of the greatest and most recognised theme songs.
Yeah, true.
And for me, that's about where it stopped. I didn't watch it. I didn't get into it. So take it away.
I don't even know where to start. Will Smith, it's the only thing he's done good. No, that's harsh. He could have retired then. The characters, the whole... piss funny, right? Just hilarious through the whole thing for on all different levels. Here's a little peek into me, right? And I'm not alone here, and I'm going to put the call out to everyone listening that is on a level with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that I am. The finale of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, grand finale, was one of the most emotional TV show episodes I've ever watched, and I got teary, and I'm not even going to lie about that. It was fucking heavy. All right.
On that, I have seen, I think it went around on socials a while ago. I don't know. But it was a scene about Will Smith's character talking about his dad.
Yeah, that was literally
is that the finale, was it?
That's the final scene of the show.
Oh, mate, I cried with you. I
mate.
didn't even know what the fuck I was watching.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, dude. I didn't
realise that was a finale. That's okay. That's big time.
I'm just going to need a minute. So there you go. That for me is number 1, but that's number 2 on tonight's list. Go for it, Ads. Number 3.
Okay. Number 3, Full House.
Nice. Nice. What a show.
Not ashamed to admit it. Not ashamed to admit it, because it had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It made you laugh, made you cry. A young man growing up in that generation, you had a crush on at least one of those sisters, depending on where you're at in your, young adolescent into preteen, teenage years. They were all pretty hot.
But also, was there a little bit of a crush on Aunt? What was her name?
The psycho one.
No, the one that was with Uncle Jesse. What was her name? She was all right. Oh. Yeah, the one that's ended up a psycho. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Nah.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't
remember her name now.
Anyway, they're all hot. John Stamos.
John
also
Stamos.
Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, his characters,
Again, a show that had everything. Made you laugh, made you cry, set up some absolute superstars going into the future.
Too right.
And Full House has got to be on the list.
Well done. It couldn't possibly be a list of 90 sitcoms without this next one. So, number 4, Seinfeld.
Never got into it.
Oh, fucking hell, Adam. Just when you think you know someone, you've just hit me with never got into Seinfeld.
No bullshit, never seen an episode.
I don't know how we're going to continue this episode.
I apologise. Listen, I understand.
Stop for a minute. Let me just take that in. I'm struggling with this at the moment.
Listen, I understand it's a red flag, Luke. And
Well,
I
we're
admit my
123
faults.
fucking episodes in for red flags. It's a bit late.
Hey.
All right.
Red flags don't often show themselves until shit gets serious.
Fucking hell.
And I'd like to think we're serious. I don't know what to
Seinfeld,
say.
Listen.
I don't know what to say.
It is an absolute institution. It is a... I mean, it's the GOAT. It doesn't get much better than that. It's a show about nothing.
Yep. And I'm not saying it's not the GOAT. I just never watched it.
Okay. It's not too late. I actually saw
I-
something recently and watched half an episode. It's still funny. 30 years on. More.
To hold
Anyway.
up.
All right, we can move on.
Sorry to ruin that one for you.
You've ruined my life, but that's okay. Go on. You're up.
I don't know where to go with my last pick.
It's so hard,
Because
man.
I know. I've got two left.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've got 4.
I've got a few. Yeah, I've got a couple here as well. Can we give some honourable mentions at the end?
Yeah, okay. Let's do that. But
All
let's
right,
let's go confidently with your top 6, though.
All right, I'm gonna put it in there because I think it's GOAT tier.
Yeah.
So number 5, Friends.
Yeah. I feel like it yeah.
You couldn't avoid it.
Nah.
It was just you couldn't avoid it. It was just an absolute juggernaut to the point where people are still watching it.
Yep. Yep.
Just going back and replaying the whole thing. Listen, I'm not one of them, but I must admit, when it was on, I was watching it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, yep, same. Yeah, I'm not watching replays, but I appreciate
we know
a
the
highlight
characters.
on social every now and then.
Correct. We know the characters.
Who was your favourite?
I think it was hard to go past Joey just because
Yeah.
he was the one-line king. He was the one that had you in stitches.
Yeah, my clear favourite was Chandler. Rest in peace, Matthew.
Yeah.
Perry. I always everything he said was brilliant in my eyes. Yeah. But thank you
Solid
for putting
show.
that in because you can't. Seinfeld
It had
and
to be.
Friends just owned their space, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right, this is tough now because there's 3. Okay, we're going to do honourable mentions, but I really want this one to be in the top 6, so I'm actually going with it, and I feel really good about it. So number 6, Home Improvement.
That was
Tim
what,
the
that was what I couldn't-
Toolman Taylor.
That's what I couldn't choose between that and Friends. I'm like, which one? I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it
What
made
a
the
show.
top 6. What a show.
What a show. Al
Yeah,
Ball.
I'm with you. Home Improvement.
A lot of quotes out of that show too, by the way. That was a... Yeah. Oh, dude.
The neighbour where you never saw his face
Yeah.
just peeked over the fence.
Wilson? Was it Wilson?
Yes, Wilson. I think it was.
Yeah. Howdy ho, neighborino.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think so, Tim. I mean, I don't think so, Tim still gets said these days. And I reckon a lot of people saying it don't even realise that that's where it comes from.
That's where it came from.
Al Ball.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Tim. Oh, mate. It's a... What a beast. What a
I'm
beast.
so happy that made
So-
the top 6.
So let's just round out the top 6 and then we can just give some shout outs because I think everyone at home, I hope everyone listening is shouting the show that they want because it's that 90s era of television because it was proper television and you'd know that, Friends started at 7 o'clock or, whatever it was.
So you made sure you were free to watch these shows.
Yeah. Like you did.
There was no watch it on demand. You made sure you were free.
I demand that you've finished dinner by 7 o'clock so we can watch fucking Friends. No.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
All right, so number 1, The Simpsons. Number 2, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Number 3, Full House. Number 4, Seinfeld. 5, Friends. And 6, Home Improvement. Ads, I'll throw to you. I've got a couple. Let's just chuck a couple each out there for honourable mentions.
Honourable mentions. Now I've got a younger sister. She's 2 years younger than me.
I'm hearing
and
excuses already. You just own it.
You know
loved
what?
it.
I'm just going to blossom. Solid.
What even is that?
Just say yes, Luke.
Was it a sitcom?
It was the sitcom.
Oh my god!
It was the one where you'd walk past and catch a glimpse of the TV and go, nah, yes, and just sit down and watch it sneaky in the background for a little bit.
Jesus Christ. Okay. What else you got?
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, dude, he was desperate to play in the NBA, and I think he played for the Lakers at one stage in the show. Is that true? Is that what happened?
I hope so. I don't remember it, but I hope so. All I remember, again, Hooper, school teacher, and I remember just giggling along to it. So that's definitely an honourable mention for me.
Well
with Mr.
done.
Cooper.
I loved, and I've just got to sort of check myself here to make sure it was 90s, but Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, the 90s. Good show.
And just loved his attitude, just sort of
Yeah.
bit of a sloth. And King of Queens was another one I thought of, but I wasn't entirely sure if it was 90s or early 2000s.
Or to early 2000s. I don't know. But again, cracker of a show.
Yeah. And what was the show that Steve Urkel was on?
Yeah. I know it. But yeah, Urkel. I don't remember the show. I just remember him.
Yeah. And
Steve
I think
Urkel.
that's probably everyone. Well, even, to my point then, I couldn't even think of the name of the show, but Steve Urkel. Yeah. Fascinating.
I'm sure that
what
was
a time. What a time.
Just show after show. There's probably heaps that we have left out, forgotten about. Not sure if it was 90s or 2000s.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty happy with that top six.
What did we miss? What are your thoughts? Is there something in there? Don't worry about the order. It's no particular order.
No
obviously,
particular order.
we're just throwing them out there. But yeah, let us know your thoughts if you've got a 90s sitcom that we haven't added. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Wow. What a time. Didn't even think of that. But, Jesus. Is there even sitcoms anymore? Like, genuine question.
Not, I don't think, in the format.
Live
of
audience,
this. Yeah.
It's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine. Yeah. Anyway, that's...
I wonder if it'll ever come back. Because I know on some of the streaming services, they've tried to bring back some of the classics. Full House made a comeback with Fuller House for a little bit.
Right. Is that any good?
I think not sure. Past my time. I think the kids actually got into it a bit. There was one sitcom with who's that fucking giant wrestler? The Big Show.
Oh, okay.
That was wild.
Yeah.
My youngest got into that for a little bit. They've tried, but not like this. Like this is...
Because later on, there's been like
Prime.
the Big Bang Theory and all that sort of shit, but it didn't...
Which have been huge.
Oh, been huge.
And
Like,
listen, and yeah, good in their own right. But not,
Not to the degree
not
of some
Full
of those.
House.
Oh, my God. Some absolute... All right, well, let us know. What do you think about our top six? And, what have we left out or omitted? But plenty to get through ads, obviously, in this episode. We've got... Why do we call flathead lizards? Please let us know.
Please tell me.
Best way to rig a live bait, and
Yep.
then best live bait options outside of the top three or the big three.
The big three, yep.
And then let us know what you think of our top six. Let us know what you think of our top six sting. Massive shout out to Nick for creating that and
I'm a
putting
fan.
that together and sending it through. Thanks everyone for getting in touch through Instagram, the website, emails, however else you got in touch with us. Love it. Can't wait to hear from you all again this week. And don't stop sending your voice messages or emails through. We love it. And we'll get to as many as we can throughout the week and, of course, on the show next week as well. Have a bloody good week, everyone. Wherever you are, if you're in Queensland, stay safe. Hopefully all is well. If you're in the southern part of the country, which sounds odd, stay cool because it's fucking hot at the moment.
It's fucking hot.
And this studio is not very well ventilated, Adam, and I am sweating absolute bullets. So on that note, see you all real soon. Thanks, ads.
Peace.